Hello dear students, we're going to continue our chapter which is about reproduction of flowering plants. We already learned in the previous session about different parts of a flower. In this session, we're going to learn about the steps of fruit formation. What are the steps of fruit formation? Step 1, pollination. Step 2, fertilization. Step 3, fruit formation. Let us start with the first step, which is pollination. What is pollination? Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the stamen to the pistil, which means that it is the transfer of pollen grains from the male part to the female part. Pollination can be direct or indirect. What is direct pollination? Direct pollination occurs in monoecious flowers. Monoecious flowers are the flowers that have both the male parts and the female parts within the same flower. In this case, the pollen grains move directly from the anther and stick on the stigma. Indirect pollination occurs when the pollen grains move from a male flower to a female flower. In this case, the pollen grains move by the help of insects or wind. Step 2, fertilization. Before we explain what fertilization is, we have to review the parts of the pistil. The upper part of the pistil is called the stigma, the middle part is called the style, and the lower part is called the ovary. But how does fertilization occur? First, the pollen grain sticks on the stigma. Then, it descends in the pollen tube. Finally, the pollen grain penetrates the ovary and unites with the ovule. What happens after fertilization? After fertilization, the petals, which are the colored leaves of a flower, wither. Then they drop off. After that, the ovary begins to swell. Finally, the seeds develop inside the fruit, which grows bigger. Note that the ovary becomes the fruit and the ovules become the seeds. As a summary, what are the steps of fruit formation? First, plants form flowers. Then, the pollen grains move from the stamen to the pistil in a step called pollination, which can be direct or indirect. Then, the pollen grains unite with the ovules in a step called fertilization. After fertilization, the ovary becomes a fruit, and inside the ovary, the seeds develop. Application. Thank you for watching.